If you look at the cloisters in New York, it's a very famous artwork in the tapestries that shows the hunt of the unicorn. And it's an allegory for Christ that a pure, unique, and spotless being is hunted unjustly because of its unique nature. So throughout the art of that time, allegories of Christ were often, portrayed as as a unicorn, but that comes from the fact that the people of the time understood that unicorns were in the Bible. But are they really in the Bible, or is it really just kind of a translation thing? So,
So you got to go back to the Greek.
Well,
or the Hebrew.
Basically, yeah. So, when you translate the Bible into English, from the Latin Vulgate, which happened, around those times, there really isn't a word for some of the words that, come over from the language translation. So, in the Douay-Rheims, there is unicorns mentioned 7 times. Psalm 21, Psalm 28, Psalm 77, Psalm 91, Isaiah 34.
And that being the most literal of all the translations, at least the attempt of that translation.
Was very literal. Right.
So it was originally a mystical being, right? And it really didn't have a shape, and then eventually took the shape of a unicorn. Why are you laughing at me?
Not really. So
this is a weird thing in the Bible, Father Rich.
Man, I'm trying to stick with you here, Ryan, but
get your mouth next to it.
So not really. I mean, the word unicorn is in the Douay-Rheims Bible. Mm-hmm. For example, Isaiah 34:7, and the unicorn shall go down with them, and the bulls with the mighty. Their land shall be soaked with blood, and their ground with the fat of fat ones. Right. So that's pretty gory business there. Yeah. But they mention unicorns, but really, if you look at the Latin word where unicorn comes from, it's from unicornus, or unus, one, and corn, which means a horn. And really, that's what they're talking about, is a rhinoceros.
Gotcha.
A rhinoceros was known to the people of the biblical times. That was an animal that was aware to them. Mm-hmm. So it was a one-horned animal, so unicornus. So then the translation being literal, they translated it into unicorn.
Gotcha.
And then that became...
And that might have been before unicorns ever became something, right? I mean, isn't this a recent phenomenon, unicorns?
We just talked about how they were in the medieval times.
But once again, like in the seminary, Ryan is not paying attention.
Right.
Okay. Hi. Welcome to the Catholic Talk Show. Hi.
Well, you're wearing a rhinoceros on your shirt there, Ryan.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, I love it.
Can you believe it?
Get a
close-up of that, will you? I came prepared.
It's very topical.
The fact that a mythological creature would be hunted, such a beautiful unicorn, it comes to mind this whole idea of what is in the nature of man to seize and take control over rare items and rare things. Mm. And they're willing to go to any extent to seize it and to have power over it. And it's a really beautiful analogy in a way to Christ, because he is uniquely not only just man, but he's God. God becomes man. And the most unique form of the fulfillment of man is before us. And look how he was hunted down and ultimately killed. And I think we can treat each other that way in so many different circles of power and wrestling for different, maneuvering for different things. We can see that in politics. We could see that among nations. We could see that in our own lines of employment. And that is what's most base about the human person and what's most inclined towards sin. But what is the greatest and most sublime thing is that we can actually be moved to wonder and awe. And I find myself not wanting to wield the power of Christ as a priest or, the sacramentally or whatever. I am in persona Christi when I'm celebrating the Eucharist or baptism or reconciliation. But what I'm fascinated by is the fact that before this wonderful gift to the church, I'm in wonder and awe. Yeah. And I don't want to seize power over it. I just want to behold it. Yeah. And I think beholding the power and the beauty of God is something that unlocks the human person and makes us more like God and unlocks that image within us.